Mr. Speaker,
I'll start with the prayer. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of the leaders of the welfare of the society, the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold your abundant favor as your servants with whom we are pleased to go to perform the important trusts in our county. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just, faithful manner to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and the welfare of our county, and for those interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, please be seated. Order paper number 1. 2024 will stand committed to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation once the committee has been approved by the House.
Order number 5 is the Committee on Appointment on Vetting of Nominees to serve in the County Executive Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to read on the floor of the House the report of Committee on Appointment on Vetting of Nominees to serve as County Executive Committee members.
Yes, acknowledged. Let's proceed to the next.
Report to the Committee on Selection and Nomination of Members of the County Assembly to serve in various committees of the County Assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to lay on the floor of the House report of the Committee on Selection and Nomination of Members of the County Assembly to serve in various committees of the County Assembly, Mr. Speaker.
Equally acknowledged.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to give notice of a motion on approval of the nominees for appointment as members of the County Executive Committee. That pursuant to the provisions of Article 179(2)(b) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and Section 35 of the County Government Act 2012, this County Assembly do adopt the report of the Committee on Appointment and approve the following nominees for appointment by His Excellency the Governor as members of the County Executive Committee. We have 1, Ms. Beatrice Kathomi, the Department of Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources. We have Mr. Lawrence Ileli Loeria in the Department of Finance and Economic Planning. 3, we have Ms. Maureen Nyambura Kariuki in the Department of Youth, Sports, Culture and Tourism. Number 4, we have Honorable Samuel Mudini Karangi in the Department of Public Administration, Intergovernmental Coordination and Devolution Affairs. Mr. Speaker.
You have another notice of motion? Yes, let's proceed. We proceed, clerk.
Order number 7, statements.
among others, are set out in the public appointments. That is the County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017. 1. Academic qualifications. 2. Employment records. 3. Professional associations. 4. Potential conflict of interest. 5. Knowledge of the relevant subject. 6. Overall suitability for the position. 7. Tax compliance. 8. Integrity. The Selection Committee on Appointments held its approval hearings on Tuesday, 11th October 2022 from 9 a.m. The minutes of the approval hearing are annexed to this report, Mr. Speaker. 1. We started with Ms. Beatrice Modoni Kenya, nominee for County Executive Committee member for Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources. The nominee County Executive Committee member for Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources, Ms. Beatrice Kabiribiri Kenya, appeared before the committee on Tuesday, 11th October at 9 a.m. She was born in Chuka. Academic qualifications, she is currently pursuing doctorate of course in environmental science and holds a master's of science, that is environmental science, and a bachelor of science, that is hard science with high T, and biology and water resources management option, all from Maseno University. Mr. Speaker, for the interest of time, allow me to skip potential conflict of interest. I go up to committee observation, Mr. Speaker. That is on page 10. Thank you. Proceed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Committee observation on the suitability of Ms. Beatrice Kabiribiri to be appointed as the County Executive Committee member in charge of water and natural resources. The committee, having considered the nominee filed questionnaire portions, the provisions of the public appointment, that is County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, a curriculum vitae and other submissions, made the following observations on her suitability for appointment as the County Executive Committee member. 1. That in accordance to Section 35 of the County Government Act 2012, she is a Kenyan. B. She owns a first degree from a recognized university in Kenya, that is Bachelor of Science, Health Science with high T, and Hydrology and Water Resources Management option from Maseno University. C. She satisfies the requirements of leadership and integrity as provided in Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. She provided the clearance from the relevant bodies which are annexed to this report, Mr. Speaker. D. She has knowledge and distinguished career in water and natural resources to which she is being appointed to be in charge. E. She does not hold any other state or public office. F. She has never been charged in court of law in the last 3 years. The second nominee was Mr. Lawrence Roeria, nominee for County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning. Mr. Speaker, because his particulars are really in this report, Mr. Speaker, allow me to move straight to committee's observation for the interest of time, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Committee observation on the integrity of Mr. Lawrence Roeria to be appointed as the County Executive Committee member in charge of Finance and Economic Planning. The committee, having considered the nominees' field questionnaire, pursuant to the provisions of the public appointment, that is the County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, its curriculum vitae and oral submissions, made the following observations on his eligibility for appointment as a County Executive Committee member. That 1, in accordance with Section 35 of the County Government Act 2012, he is a Kenyan of identity card number as listed. Number 2, B, he owns a first degree from a recognized university in Kenya, that is Bachelor of Education Arts from the University of Nairobi. And of course, that is among many other certificates as attached in this report, Mr. Speaker. It satisfies the requirement of leadership and integrity as provided in Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. He provided the clearance certificate from the relevant bodies which are annexed to this report, Mr. Speaker. He has knowledge and long distinguished career spanning over 3 decades in finance, to which he is being appointed to be in charge of, Mr. Speaker.
Number E, he has never been charged in court of law in the last 3 years. Number
7, he has never been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010. The other nominee, Mr. Speaker, was Ms. Maureen Nyambura Kariuki, nominee County Executive Committee member for Youth, Sport, Culture and Tourism. She was born in Chogoria in the year 1987. She owns a Bachelor of Education Arts degree from Chuka University and currently pursuing Masters in Curriculum and Instruction from the same university. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, let me move to Committee's observation. Committee observation on the integrity of Ms. Maureen Nyambura Kariuki to be appointed as the County Executive Committee member in charge of Youth, Sport, Culture and Tourism. The nominee having the committee having considered the nominees' filmed questionnaire pursuant to the provisions of the Public Appointment, that is the County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, his curriculum vitae and oral submissions made the following observations on his eligibility for appointment as a County Executive Committee member. 1. In accordance with Section 35 of the County Government Act 2012, the nominee is a Kenyan of identity card as listed. B. She owns a first degree from a recognized university in Kenya, that is Bachelor of Education Arts from Chuka University. C. She satisfies the requirements of leadership and integrity as provided in Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. She provided the clearance certificates from the relevant bodies which are annexed to this report, Mr. Speaker. Number D, she has never been charged in court of law in the last 3 years. And E, she has never been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, the fourth was Honorable Samuel Mudin Karangi, nominee County Executive Committee member for Public Administration, Intergovernmental Coordination and Devolution Affairs. He was born in Tharaka in 1986. The nominee owns a Bachelor of Business Administration from Kenya Methodist University. And regarding the key priorities during his tenure of service, the nominee stated as follows. 1. That you will streamline the public service through capacity building on service delivery for workers to understand that professionalism must be observed in all sectors to ensure that the public gets value for their money through efficient services. It intends to engage the Kenya School of Government to implement the same. In regard to workers' welfare in terms of health, the nominee committed to come up with an effective health scheme for all workers, which will boost their morale. The nominee reported that with the assurance of an effective health scheme, there is high probability of efficient service delivery because the workers are confident that their families can access health facilities when need be. On the nomination for public service, the nominee stated that promotions shall be done with all fairness and requesting for political goodwill to enable him implement measures to curb tribalism. In consultations, he intends to implement performance appraisals which will justify the need for said promotions. In consultations with the relevant stakeholders, the nominee shall undertake rationalization of employees as a way to curb the brutal pay law and ensure that employees offer service delivery to the sectors they are best suited or qualified for. He further requested for the political goodwill so that the task to do that interpreted as with. He further requested for the political goodwill so that the task do not be interpreted as witch hunt. He promised to construct offices for the administrators at one level for efficient service delivery. Committee observation. The committee, having considered the nominee field questionnaire pursuant to the provisions of the Public Appointment, that is County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, its curriculum vitae and oral submissions mean the following observations on its suitability for appointment as a County Executive Committee member. That one, in accordance with Section 35 of the County Government Act 2012, is a Kenyan. Two, that he owns a first degree from a recognized university, that is Bachelor of Business Administration from Kenya Methodist University. C, that he satisfied the requirement of leadership and integrity as provided in Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. He provided the clearance certificates from the relevant bodies which are an annex to this report, Mr. Speaker. He has never been charged in a court of law in the last 3 years. He has never been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Mr. Speaker, the Committee General Observations and findings. The committee, having considered the nominees' field questionnaires pursuant to the Public Appointment, that is County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, the nominees' curriculum vitae and hand their oral submissions during that approval hearing meant the following observations. Number one, that all nominees find the provisions of Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and on leadership and integrity, which is the requirement under Section 35(3)(c) of the County Government Act 2012. In that, A, all the nominees have been cleared by the Kenya Revenue Authority, Criminal Investigation Department, Higher Education Loans Board, Current Deliverance Bureau, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. B, all nominees have not been charged in court of law. C, the nominees do not exhibit a potential conflict of interest. Number three, the nominees meet the requirement. Number two, the nominees meet the requirement of the provisions of Section 35(2) of the County Government Act 2012. In that, one, there is representation of regional balancing within Tharaka County. B, upholds the community and cultural diversity within Tharaka County. Number three of the observations, all the nominees meet the requirement of Section 35(3)(d), since they exhibited impressive knowledge of topical and legal issues touching on the respective dockets and have the requisite abilities, qualifications, and experience. Considering the above merits, the committee found all the nominees suitable for appointment as members of the county committee, having met both the constitutional and statutory requirements. Mr. Speaker, these are the committee's recommendations. Pursuant to provisions of Article 179(2)(b) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 35 of the County Government Act 2012, the Public Appointments, that is County Assembly's Approval Act of 2017, and the Standing Orders number 64 and number 218(4) of the Tharaka County Assembly Standing Order, the committees recommend that this County Assembly adopts its report and approves the following 4 nominees for appointment by His Excellency the Governor as members of the County Executive Committee as follows. Number 1, Ms. Beatrice Kathomi Kenywa in the Department of Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources. 2, Mr. Lawrence Ileli in the Department of Finance and Economic Planning. 3, Ms. Maureen Nyambura Karaoke in the Department of Youth, Sport, Culture and Tourism. 4, Honorable Samuel Mudin Karangi in the Department of Public Administration, Intergovernmental Coordination and Devolution Affairs, Mr. Speaker. I really don't wish to elaborate on this report, Mr. Speaker. It is self-explanatory. So, Mr. Speaker, I move the motion. Mr. Speaker, I want to allow Honorable Honorable Jeru Ingara to second the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jeru.
I second, Mr. Speaker. and bearing in mind that we went to elections so that we can serve the people of Tharaka Nithi, I want to urge these members to support these, to adopt this motion, because the report, so that we can have people in place to serve the aspirations of Tharaka Nithi people. The nominees have every other qualification in their relevant departments. So in very simple terms, Mr. Speaker, I urge, and I support, I second, I urge the House to adopt the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I will propose the question, since the motion has been seconded, that pursuant to the provisions of Article 179/2/B of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Section 35 of the County Government Act 2012, the Public Appointments, County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, and Standing Orders number 64 and number 218/4 of the Tharaka Nithi County Assembly Standing Orders, the committee recommends that this County Assembly adopts its report and approves the following 4 nominees for appointment by His Excellency the Governor as members of the County Executive Committee as follows. 1. Beatrice Kathomi Kenywa in the Department of Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources. 2. Lawrence Ireli Loeria in the Department of Finance and Economic Planning. 3. Maureen Nyambura Kariuki in the Department of Youth, Sports, Culture and Tourism. 4. Honorable Samuel Muthini Karangi in the Department of Public Administration, Intergovernmental Coordination and Devolution Affairs. Honorable members, you can make your contributions. Honorable Kenuthia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support that we adopt. Mr. Speaker, first I will congratulate the committee for good work done, and I also congratulate the Executive, the Governor, because he brought people with no questionable character, which would have brought heat among its members. Mr. Speaker, since these people will work under the Governor, I will urge the members to support so that we can move on. Thank you.
Honorable Murithi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First of all, Honorable Speaker, allow me to congratulate the committee that did this job of vetting the nominees. Honorable Speaker, I think they did it with the shortest time possible, and we have this report today in this House. That's a job well done. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, allow me to appraise the Governor for the nominees. Honorable Speaker, for the first time, I've not heard a lot of noise from the residents of Tharaka Nithi because of the same. And Honorable Speaker, I've studied the nominees, except one. All of them are young tax. So I believe that they are going to do their best to help their colleagues or their youth counterparts. Honorable Speaker, for the first time in history, since this county maybe was constituted, that is back 2010, for the first time, Honorable Speaker, my ward as a CEC. So I appraise the Governor for that, and I even thought the second CEC, because he comes from Mariani, is from my area, because it's from the border. So Honorable Speaker, I think when you talk about Karigani, people know what they are doing. So I'm happy for them. But allow me, Honorable Speaker, to just go through some 2-3 issues that I've seen in the report that makes me believe that the nominees are going to do their best. Honorable Speaker, The issue of water is a pandemic in our county. It is a problem. Right now, Honorable Speaker, I think the lower side, they don't have water. Although the upper side, Honorable Speaker, we have water, it's also a problem. Honorable Speaker, in our county, we need irrigation water. This is not a county that we are supposed to be talking about shortage of food, Honorable Speaker. But I know, Honorable Speaker, with one Beatrice Kathomi, whom I have a lot of trust, she might to become the mother of this county, Honorable Speaker. And I'm happy. I thank the governor for considering her, having seen her potential, Honorable Speaker. Having done a master's in science, environmental science, and ambassador of science, earth science, Honorable Speaker, and also the issue of water resource management, Honorable Speaker, I think she qualifies in this position, and I'm happy for her, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to believe that the first time we have gotten the one person by name Lawrence Eleri, the nominee member for Finance and Economic Planning, Honorable Speaker. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, through you, to single out something that he responded in a question in response to personal question on what he would do if the boss asked you to do something that you don't agree with. Honorable Speaker, this is something that we need to note as our house, because it may end up bringing some conflict with them sometimes when he don't take this in seriously. He says, the nominee responded that he would never compromise for anything illegal, because it would result not only in the legislation with the relevant bodies, but also prosecution. However, he noted something. If it is a matter of negotiation, the nominee always committed to consultations and listening out to get a solution. So, Honorable Speaker, the issue of negotiations, the issue of consultations needs to be done with the executive, so that, Honorable Speaker, we can have the best in our county. Honorable Speaker, we have a young tank by name Nyambula, who is now the nominee for youth. Honorable Speaker, I think the governor has done the best, because he has not only considered the gender, the region balancing, he has also considered the youth. I remember, Honorable Speaker, last regime when, because I was here, we talked a lot when it came to the issues of youth. And I'm happy, Honorable Speaker, the youth now as someone who can listen to them, and he can bring their issues. He can take their issues to the executive, to the cabinet, and also to this house, Honorable Speaker, for adoption. So I think, Honorable Speaker, personally, I do agree. Last but not the least, Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Mudheni. Honorable Mudheni, we have worked with him. He has been our colleague in this house. He is a very serious man, especially when it comes to the staff, Honorable Speaker. I think this job is the best for him. Honorable Speaker, but allow me also to note what he said about the public service. He said that he will streamline the public service through capacity building on service delivery for workers to understand that professionalism must be observed in all sectors to ensure that the public gets value of their money. Honorable Speaker, our people need the value of our money. Honorable Speaker, I want to single out something that happens within our wards. We have ward administrators, we have sub-county administrators. Honorable Speaker, if the one who is in Magumoni or in Karigani, you ask him the farthest corner of Karigani, he may not be aware of that corner, Honorable Speaker. We need workers who can work for our people, Honorable Speaker, especially when it comes to the ward administrators, sub-county administrators, and also, Honorable Speaker, those who are working for revenue collection. We need a lot of respect to our customers, because they are our residents and they are the people who are supposed to be paying revenue, Honorable Speaker, for our county to continue. Honorable Speaker, I do support the nominees and the motion, Honorable Speaker, for the benefit of this county. I believe even if they are sworn in tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, next week by Monday, we are supposed to be asking Honorable Kathomi, how we are going to get water for my people from down Kabiribiri. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Nithi. Honorable Kireko.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this motion and urge the members to adopt this committee's report. I happen to be one of the committee members, and I want to say that it is a very good thing that we have. I just went through the resume of these nominees, and I can attest that they are the most qualified for the nominations. I mean, they are the most qualified for their appointment positions, because when I looked at Beatrice Kathomi, for instance, she has a vast knowledge and served in various sectors that involve water and environment, which I believe in her capacity, she's going to help us to eradicate this problem that is facing our county, and especially the lower parts of our county. When I looked at the resume of one Nyawera for youth, I had to check a few things regarding our responses, and I can attest, Mr. Speaker, this is one person that I'm proud of. One, she's a youth like me, and she will understand the problems that our youths are facing. And I remember in one of her responses, she said that she's going to embrace consultations, which means she's not only going to represent the youth, but also the diversity in this docket, where she's going to represent our culture that cut across all ages. And I think from what I heard from her, the governor did a job that we need to applaud him for. And when I looked at my brother Moveni, I don't need to say much, because he's a gentleman that I've studied for some time, and I would say in terms of administration and his responses, he is going to do a good job. Last but not least, I'll talk about one Lawrence, one qualified person whom I have no doubt that he is going to deliver and he is going to help our people. And Mr. Speaker, since all these are sons and daughters of Tharaka, I still believe that they are going to serve our county diligently and with a lot of commitments. I support Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Fatuma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my first time to stand here and talk in the Assembly. And first of all, I congratulate you on your election, because it's my first time to talk. Second, from the report that I've heard from the members who have spoken, it seems the people are so qualified. And I also say it's good when we get qualified people to serve in this county of ours. Because when we get the right people, doing the right job, doing what they have been educated to do, doing their passion, I think we are going on the right direction. I support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Sylvester.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also support the report. When I look at the four nominees, the four of them are well qualified for the jobs. Number one, when I start with the first lady, who is a nominee for water, irrigation and natural resources, I feel like we would have approved this lady like yesterday. In fact, my ward, Gatonga ward, is one of the ward that is facing serious challenges when it comes to matters of water. As we talk, all the rivers, call them the Lanto, the Ngada, and the Ura, the 3 rivers are dry. And the reports we are getting is there are some people up there, maybe from the neighboring county, who have blocked, who have maybe diverted that water illegally, and that's why we are not getting that water. So I'm approving this nominee because I know by next week, God willing, she will be on the ground helping me to get water for my people. Second, when I look at Honorable, the one nominee for finance, I've seen his track record. He has worked in those best institutions in this country, and I know he's going to do marvelous for our county. We have people crying outside there, and maybe some of us here are victims. We are pending bills, and I know he's going to work on that. And when I look at Honorable Mudeni, I know him. He has been doing good jobs out there. We have people, even from my own ward, who are crying for years. They have not been confirmed. So I know he is going to do that. And finally, the nominee for youth, Mr. Speaker, I'm standing here today because of youth. Were it not for the youth, maybe I would have been somewhere else doing other things. And because of that, we are ready to help the lady to work for the youth of this county, so that even if I'm not going to come back in 2007, God forbid, a youth like me will be in this house advancing the agenda of the youth of Gatonga ward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, Honorable Gatonga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, let me congratulate the committee led by you, our able speaker, for a job well done and for vetting these 4 nominees. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the committee's report. I have looked at the CVs of the 4 nominees, Mr. Speaker, who are recommended for appointments. And as the other honorable members have spoken, Mr. Speaker, they are well qualified. We believe, Mr. Speaker, with the necessary support out there, they should be able to guide our county to greater heights. I note specifically Madam Beatrice, who was in the campaign trail, Mr. Speaker, and I think this is the time now to actualize some of the programs that I think she intended to do as a Mama County. And I believe, Mr. Speaker, from CV, she is well qualified to handle this docket of water and irrigation. And as the other members have said, this is the issues of water is becoming an headache and a problem to all of us across the ones, Mr. Speaker. And I believe her tray is already full even before she starts working, and she has to work very hard. But since she has the necessary qualifications, Mr. Speaker, and with the necessary support, I believe she will do a wonderful job. Mr. Speaker, the other nominee whom I intend to talk about is Honorable Mudeni, because we were with him for the last 5 years. I know he's somebody who has a passion to work and to work diligently. And Mr. Speaker, those people who have interacted with him will attest that he is somebody who does a good job. And Mr. Speaker, I believe the people, the staff members who work at them, Mr. Speaker, will feel the heat, especially for those, Mr. Speaker, who are not able to work. They will feel him, because I know Mr. Speaker is also an hands-on person, and he will do a good job when it comes to turning around the workforce of this county, Mr. Speaker, so that we ensure that everybody is paid for work done, Mr. Speaker, and we shall have no idlers around in this county, Mr. Speaker. And we shall ensure that, I will ensure that all the staff members, Mr. Speaker, are active. And where there are shortfalls, Mr. Speaker, I believe he is the right person to handle those shortages of staff, and the necessary steps will be taken to ensure that we have adequate staff across the county, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I rise here to support the list of the nominees, and at the same time, I would like to throw a challenge to Thank you. I would like to throw a challenge to the honorable members in regards to the water problem, because when we were doing, I happened to have been in the appointment committee, and one of the challenges that one of the nominees that would be responsible for water was trying to talk about was in regards to the rivers that are drying up. And when it comes to the lower zones, the rivers drying up, I can tell you, because I come from the upstream side, that the rivers are also drying up upstream. And one of the big challenges is because of the climatic changes. So even if we have the member coming in to be serving us at the water docket, I would like to draw a challenge to all the members here so that we can also begin to start supporting her from our own areas, because the rain season is almost here. In Chogoria, one of the things that I've been able to talk to her is because every rainy season, during the campaign trail, I was able to, we were able to plant over 10,000 trees. So I think even for the rest of the members, it's better that we start involving this docket so that we can also start planting trees even on the lower sides to increase the rains. Because the problem with the water is not just annexed on the fact that it's at the lower level. So the honorable member for Gatonga, we should all combine forces to support this. I hereby support this committee's report, because all these members have been met them one-on-one. They are all capable members, and they are all nominees that I know will serve us and serve the interests of the people of Tharaka in the right way, and they are very well qualified. I also applaud the governor on the appointment authority for choosing the right people this time to serve us and to serve our people here in Tharaka. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Anita.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion, and I want to laud the committee for this noble job. Mr. Speaker, I remember in the second assembly, we had issues when it came to approving of the nominees, but this time round, I have not had any complaints, and I believe we are here because the governor chose the people that he knows are the right people to work with. And as he said, you cannot choose for somebody a wife, you cannot choose for him the CCs, because he's the one who will be working with them, and that will be taking on the oversight and the implementation part. Mr. Speaker, but we need to own them, because if you want to own the product, you have to be part of the procedure. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe the committee put into consideration, and they did very well, on gender equity, an issue that had nearly brought problems last week. And in this, even the governor, and I really love the way the governor likes empowering the women. There is also the regional balance, and I believe the governor really looked at the capability of the people that he wants to work with. Mr. Speaker, if you first look at Beatrice, Beatrice is a go-getter woman. Beatrice went for the position of woman rep. She came to the county from Maseno, where we were just loitering around, and she went for the position of woman rep. And I think I'll buy the ones of somebody that told us, literally it is Beatrice who won, because she was nowhere, and as we were just loitering in Tharaka County, but she came and made position 2. Maybe some of us would have made position 4 or even been nowhere. And after losing the woman rep's position, she went for the Senate Speaker. So I believe we have the right woman in that position, and also having qualified for the position that he's going for. I believe we are even lucky that one Honorable Kareke Mbiuki is the chair, National Assembly Committee on Water and Sanitation. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe if they work together, we're in the right hands, and I believe our governor is also very close. So if we get the right workmanship, we won't behave like the whole of Kenya, where we have very good policies, but when it comes to implementation, there is nothing on the ground. So I believe there is something that is going to come out of this. Mr. Speaker, we go to Maureen, she qualifies, and it is the first time that a woman has been nominated. I have not seen complaints online. I believe all of us here are holders of Facebook accounts, and when we see when some appointments are done, there is an uproar in Facebook, but everybody has been congratulating her because we know, and the youth know what she has done. And Mr. Speaker, I believe with the rise of Maureen to this position, I hope our youth sector will be revived, our tourism sector. And Mr. Speaker, she's lucky that she's coming to work with an act that was passed by this assembly that the governor assented to. When we came to the assembly, there was nothing, so we were just trying to touch it there to see if something can be done. But she's lucky. I hope she will come and actualize what was passed in this assembly so that it can become real and be felt by the Shiambais. Though I don't know if their youth called Shiambais these days. It will be actualized for the benefit of the people of the Tharaka County. Mr. Speaker, then I want to tap myself like the lizard when it fell and nobody clapped for it because of one Lawrence Redia. Since devolution came, Mariani leave alone CEC, even as CEO. But now we are proudly the holders of the CEC Finance Office. So I will tap myself like the lizard and say at least we've made it. So I laud the governor at least for looking at the marginalization in Mariani and giving us the CC. But I believe he never picked him because he was from Mariani. He picked him because he was capable of delivering. Having worked for Central Bank, I think I sat with him with one of the members of the budget committee, with one of the members that was the former budget committee, and we listened to him, and I believe the docket, finance and budget is in the right hands, and it will make work easier for us. With the promise of the 15 million for the wards development, I believe we are in very right hands. With the coordination and the right leadership from our governor, I believe we will get the right thing. Mr. Speaker, I want to go to Honorable Samuel Karangi Modeni. For those who don't know Modeni, when he came to the assembly first, he got the position of the chair, health committee. And that committee was doing very well until Modeni was removed from that committee. It collapsed and died a natural death until we left this assembly. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe we have the right person to handle the public administration docket. Mr. Speaker, we have a very bloated workforce that the former chair budget has been complaining about. And Mr. Speaker, remember as the Honorable Sylvester, the Honorable member for Gatunga Ward was saying, maybe we even have a bloated workforce because the people that are paid in those positions don't work for them. Maybe somebody bathes in the morning, tells the wife or the husband that she has gone to work and spends the day maybe playing maune around the market and goes back in the evening, and that person is expected to get a salary at the end of the month. So I believe we will deal with this. And Mr. Speaker, having a lot of issues with the staff and the staffing, because I believe we are even the people that protest, because I will not allow somebody that was hired from Mariani to be removed from the workforce. So I believe Mr. Modeni will handle this to bring down most of those issues that we've been going through. And then, Mr. Speaker, I remember the Committee on Public Service and Administration passed, I can't remember if it was a policy on employment of people that are going to man our institutions that are trained by the county government, so that we can stop hiring people from outside to take care of that. So I believe Mr. Modeni will come to actualize that, because, Mr. Speaker, as we speak, I have a petition from people that are working for I don't know if it is a security service that has refused with their salaries for the last 1.5 years. And that guy is supposed to know that those people have wives, have children in school, they pay rent. So I believe we'll streamline this so that the people of the Tharaka County can get the best out of their taxes and out of the leadership, because we cannot pay those people anything for the votes they give, but it is giving them the right service that they deserve. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe the committee did the best. I believe we may not get water. And Mr. Speaker, it is sad that Mawera said we planted trees. But Mr. Speaker, I have been a member of the Water Resource Users Association from 2004. But we only plant trees where we think they can be protected. But you cannot come to my shamba and plant trees even if I am a riparian. So I believe there is also a water act that if it is actualized, the best, and if Honorable Beatrice actualizes it, having a background on water, I believe the Tharaka Nithi will stop complaining. But it is not only in the Tharaka Nithi, we need to get out of our comfort zones and do something at least so that we can stop complaining, because it is not our problem only. But you know, as I don't remember if it is the Mungus that entered the hall and was shaking the tail and telling it, stop shaking me, without remembering that when the tail shakes, even it shakes, because its problem is everybody's problem. So I believe the issue of water shortage only is not the issue of Gatunga. We are all suffering. I'm even worried that he's complaining when all the rivers in the Tharaka Nithi County end up there, and we also having stones for water. So I believe this will be handled with the right things in place. And Mr. Speaker, with all those remarks, I beg to support, and I wish, Mr. Speaker, now that you are not vetting all the members, I wish those members would be sworn in as soon as possible, so that at least we can start moving on, because I know we might start getting forth when the rains fall because of the roads, even though we are not vetting the roads CEC. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Thank you. Honorable members, pursuant to Standing Order number 106, subsection 4, it allows the Speaker to call upon the mover of the motion to reply before I put the question. So the mover, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for invoking that standing order. I really wish to thank these honorable members because I have listened keenly as they were debating, and I want to single out one Honorable Muchiri Godfrey, because we didn't know he has this report, and he has put those things very well. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure this House that I was also a member, and I'm still a member of the Appointment Committee. The honorable members that we've attended and that we are presenting in this House are smart. I even asked one Lawrence why he didn't left Central Bank to just come and work in the county, because he had better packages there than here. But of course, for the love of this county, he just said it is good, and he found it well to just come and work for this county. So, Mr. Speaker, if this House approves their names, Mr. Speaker, I have no doubt that the governor will definitely, he has already appointed them, will definitely swear them in, so that they start working immediately, so that some of those issues can be addressed. Mr. Speaker, they said and promised a lot, and one thing that I can assure these honorable members is that the CECM for finance said categorically that he will actualize the one fund that was in the governor's speech, and even said that it is even minimal. He was looking at that time when we will be having over 50 million in the one fund. So I really want to believe that we have the right guy in that docket. I'm not trying to say the others are lesser, but he really impressed me. You can be assured I gave him a lot of marks, but even the others are equally good, and I know they will, with our support, they will really work with us, and they know the kind of challenges that we always undergo. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to really urge this House, when you put the question, that they don't change their mind. Let them just approve this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the mover having replied, then I will now put the question that this county assembly adopts its report and approves the following 4 nominees for appointment by His Excellency the Governor as members of the County Executive Committee as follows. 1. Beatrice Kathomi Kenywa, Department of Water, Irrigation and Natural Resources. 2. Lawrence Ireri Rueria, Department of Finance and Economic Planning. 3. Maureen Nyambura Kariuki, Department of Youth, Sports, Culture and Tourism. 4. Samuel Mudheni Karangi, Department of Public Administration, Intergovernmental Coordination and Devolution Affairs. Will as many as those with a similar opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as those with a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Let's proceed back to the next order.